Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're talking about a very scary symptom. I guess you could call it symptoms because there's different ways of describing it. We're talking about anxiety-related shakiness. Extreme shaking is what I titled this as because it isn't just a little bit of a tremor. Sometimes when it's bad, it is very visual, very visual. You feel like you're on the brink of a freaking seizure. That's how bad it is. It feels like something wants to get out of you, the energy. Internal, external tremors. So we're talking about, the visible ones would be external, right? The internal ones is the ones that you feel inside. For me, it was primarily in my abdomen and my stomach and my digestive system. You could just feel this buzz, but you can feel this, guys, anywhere. It does feel like electricity, like there's a vibration going on within. And then teeth chattering, because I don't see this talked about a whole lot, but I would chatter my teeth like crazy. I would chatter my teeth like crazy, like I was in the Arctic, but my house was, 70 degrees inside. But I would deal with that, and that was a scary one as well. Now, primarily what causes this whenever it comes to anxiety, which I'm not trying to play your doctor here. You know that by now if you've been watching me. I'm just a guy that went through this, and I beat it and recovered, and I share my stories, my war stories, my experience, and try to give you some tips that'll help, which I'm going to give you 3 good ways that can help you get past the shakiness, things that were effective for me so you can gain some momentum. But I'm not trying to play your doctor here, okay? You need to go get checked out because that's the only way you're going to be able to accept anyways. Otherwise, you're going to always question it whenever it comes up. Do I have a neurological problem? Do I have epilepsy? Am I about to have and until you get your, some good concrete external reassurance to get the ball rolling, you're going to always wonder. You're going to struggle with that anyways if you have health anxiety, even after you get told that you're fine. But you have to start somewhere, right? You have to be told so you can at least have some piece of evidence that this is anxiety, right? So you can move forward. So I'm not trying to play doctor, but the primary force behind this, guys, if you've been checked out and everything, is stress hormones, adrenaline. Guys, you don't have to be full fight or flight. You don't have to have a full-blown panic attack to deal with this. And I think that that's a misconception. But that was the scary part. If I did ever have this without a panic attack, which is whenever I would usually have it, that I would actually get more scared, because it didn't make sense as much. Like, I'm not even having a huge panic attack. I don't feel like overly consciously anxious. I mean, I had a lot on my plate today, but damn, why do I feel like this, And then I'd worry about it, and the shaking would get worse and worse and worse until I do, one of the things that I'm going to share with you at the end. But you don't have to be overly consciously anxious to have these symptoms. Sure, they're very common with anxiety attacks and panic attacks. But think of adrenaline as like a gas pedal, right? Or a valve, You're like, you don't have to fully let everything come out. You can be on the brink of a panic attack all day, right? You can be on the edge all day. And actually, for me, this is kind of beside the point. I was more miserable whenever I was trying to fight it off and I was on the edge all day. I would have been better off, I feel like, if I just let it happen. But you don't have to be full fight or flight to have these symptoms. So I know a lot of you are worried about that. Like, why am I shaking but I'm not panicking? Because you can still be right there. You could still be excreting little bits of adrenaline or cortisol into your body, and you can just be right there on the edge of your seat, basically, right? It's like your body's preparing to pop off or to run or to sprint or to fight, right? It's on the edge just waiting for a dangerous situation to happen. And we've kind of trained our mind and body to operate like that over a period of time. But primarily it's that. Other things that can cause shakiness and feelings of weakness and like wobbly legs, jelly legs, things like that. Just the extreme tension. And I think it's a combination. We got tension and we got adrenaline and cortisol going through our body. The tension and everything can lead to weakness in your legs or extremities or hands, arms. It can lead to weakness feeling anywhere, basically. But that can lead to shakiness and tremors and things like that. But primarily we're talking about hormones, stress hormones, either during a panic attack, anxiety attack, or if you're just having a rough day. So just know you're not alone if you deal with this. It is a very, very scary symptom, but I do want to talk about some things that can help with this. There's not a lot of quick fixes, right? When it comes to anxiety, recovery for sure. But when it comes to symptoms and everything, there are some things that we can do to kind of get out of some of these stressful situations pretty quickly. and to de-escalate the situation, de-escalate the symptoms, so we can then accept a little bit better. And then once we get, you know how it is, right? Like whenever you do something and it helps a little bit, you're like, okay, I'm not dying, right? And whenever you're like, I'm not dying, or I'm gonna feel better, I'm gonna start feeling better, it's momentum, and then you start to feel better quite quickly, right? If you can do this quickly, that's the other kicker. Don't wait around for an hour or something like I would to do some of these things. Whenever you feel this energy building, and it feels like it's energy, electricity, it's a buzz, it just wants to get out, right? Especially those internal tremors, it would always start my freaking digestive system, and it would start to go out to my extremities. Don't wait around till it gets to this. When you start to feel it within, act then. And I know it gets difficult whenever you're at work and things like that, because that is the last one hopefully can help you with that. But whenever you're at home and you have free time, the first two are great for this, okay? So I had a really bad situation where this happened, and it was one of the scariest situations in my life. It'd probably be like a top 5 to top 10 panic attack or whatever. It had been building, and I wouldn't even call this a panic attack, guys. It wasn't even a panic attack. I had the shakiness and everything like that, but it just started because I had a lot on my plate that day, right? I had a lot on my plate that I had to do, and then I just started to feel this within my gut, within my digestive system. I was like, man, what's this about? It started to vibrate, and then I was like, man, is there something going on inside of me? Do I have internal bleeding? Like my stomach started to churn, and then I had to use the bathroom a bunch of times. I had diarrhea back to back, and then I started to just feel this vibration expanding out of my body, and I started to freak out. And eventually, guys, it was like this. My legs were shaking. I felt like it was hard for me to even stand up, and my teeth are, that's why I put teeth chattering. Guys, I could put my tongue in between my teeth and it would just cut it off like that. That's how bad it was. So I was this close to going to the ER, but I had a history at this point of dealing with panic attacks and getting told that I was healthy and everything. So I had enough of that peace in me to be like, don't call the ambulance and get another freaking $3,000 medical bill that you can't pay for because you don't have insurance at that time. So I go up my driveway, it's raining, it's cold. And I was just like, I knew that this helped me whenever I was really scared, because I was like a couple years into my anxiety, and this helped me with my heart anxiety, all right? I started to exercise. I need proof right now that I'm healthy and that I'm fine. And I know that this gets nervous energy out of me. So if this is nervous energy that's trying to get out of me, we're about to do it, right? If I'm gonna have a seizure, I'm gonna have it in this driveway. I do sprints. It was about 40-yard dashes. And I would do sprint down the driveway, come back, I'd walk back, and I'd sprint. And guys, it took about 10 to 15 of these, and then I stopped, and I'm breathing heavy and everything like that. I was like, let's go, let's see what this is about. Like I at this point in my anxiety, I really had a warrior mentality, which thankfully helped me out tremendously. And then I realized, oh my God, I'm not like this, right? Did I still feel a little weird in my stomach? Yeah, but I wasn't doing this. So I was able to tell myself in that moment, I'm healthy, I'm okay, there's nothing wrong with me. Yet again, anxiety strikes again, right? Anxiety did it to me again. It bamboozled me again. It's responsible for this feeling that I'm having, the shaking, the tremors, the teeth chattering. I'm not about to die. I'm not about to have a seizure. I'm not about to have a heart attack. None of those things, right? So intense exercise, right? I can't express or emphasize intense enough. Do something like sprints, right? It's almost like we're acting out fight or flight, right? The next thing, guys, that helped me a few times whenever I had this, and it helped me with a lot of other symptoms, but in particular with this, is ice cold showers. I know a lot of you are gonna be like, I ain't doing that. Wouldn't that make it work? No, it gets that energy out of you. It desensitizes you. I started experimenting with cold water just by pouring cold water on my head whenever I felt anxious or had symptoms, and I noticed that it would ground me and distract me, right? This is before there was all this science about cold water and the Wim Hof and all this stuff, guys. I was just doing this stuff, experimenting. And I was like, man, what will happen if I have like a panic attack or something like that, and I jump into a cold shower? It wiped it away. The negative with this tip is, like, you can't always take a cold shower. Just like with the first one, you can't always just go out and do sprints, drop down, do push-ups, especially if you're in the workplace. But if you do have free time, these can get these things out of your system. Also, to these first two things, these need to be a part of your lifestyle. So if you do have to go to work, if you do have to travel, if you do have things that you need to be doing, do these things in the morning before you head off, so you don't have as much potential energy. You get that nervous energy out of you before you start your day, which is why you need structure in the morning. But ice cold water helped me so much. I could get in there whenever I started to feel shaky. And I would couple it. I would do the sprints and the working out, whatever type of workout you want to do. You just need to sweat, it needs to be intense. And then I would douse myself with cold water, and I felt pretty good afterwards. Pretty good. So ice cold water. And the next one, guys, this is maybe towards the end stage of like you getting better, and you're eventually going to have this end stage with each symptom that you do fear. You're going to have to sit with it and be there with it, okay? View the energy that you're having, right? View it as actual energy. You got energy coming in and energy going out. I think the reason that I would shake so much is because I was trying to suppress it. So there were a few times like when my teeth are chattering and I started to feel shaky, I would let myself feel shaky. I was like, shake me out of my freaking clothes, my boots, right? Just go ahead, give me the seizure, you know what I mean? And I would just practice my response. See, nothing's happening. We're still here. Nothing's happening. We're not in a dangerous situation. We're gonna be okay, right? We're gonna be okay. Things are gonna be fine. And I would notice, and this is of course after I'd done the sprinting and the cold showers in previous times, I felt like at this time I was ready to just like bring these things on. I want to sit here with it. I'm going to view it as energy coming in, and I'm not going to suppress that energy. I'm not going to be like, oh, please don't do this. Please don't do this. That right there, guys, it makes it so much worse. And then you end up panicking anyways. It's going to come out anyways, right? And that's the way I started to view things. I'm going to feel these things no matter what. So I'm just going to let it flow out of me. If I sit here and try to fight it off all day, I'm going to be miserable all day, and the shaking is going to get worse, right? Because I'm showing a fearful response. Please, no. Shake me. You know what I mean? If I've been checked out healthy, with confidence, like I said, give me that seizure. You know what I mean? Give it to me. Make me pass out, faint. And you can apply this with any symptom that you have. And my subconscious finally would like catch on, and my body would catch on and be like, he's not scared. He's not holding back anymore, because I'm letting the energy flow through me. It's coming in, and I'm not going to hold on to it, suppress it, magnify it, blow it up, catastrophize about it. I'm going to let it go out, right? Other things that you can do, imagine that you're weightless, become a limp noodle. This is kind of like a form of self-regulation, you know what I mean? But this is another form. In my way, it was kind of like self-regulation whenever I was just kind of sitting with it, letting it be there, not fighting it anymore. But that can take it to the next level. Just imagine yourself weightless, right? Become a limp noodle, just sit in your chair. Now, this is something that you can do at the workplace if you get a chance, or if you're lucky to have an office or whatever. Or in some of these other situations, you can practice that in the car. Still do safe driving. I'm not saying become so limp that you don't steer or operate the vehicle correctly, but these are things that you can apply there. If you want more help with your anxiety recovery, guys, I went through everything: panic attacks, health anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder. It was crippling. Dealt with it for 5 years and I got out of it. If you want my blueprint, how I did it, check out Elite Anxiety Bootcamp in the description and in the first pinned comment. There's a lot of other resources down there, but that course is changing people's lives. Let me show you this review right here. Viviana Campbell says, there is suffering in recovery. It's a process, up and down, but I am working hard every day. You are absolutely amazing. Thank you for what you do. Your program was exactly what I needed. I would recommend it to anyone suffering from anxiety. Bravo. Be a part of that course if you haven't. Super affordable. Did that on purpose. There's a lot of overpriced programs out there. I wanted to find something that could be affordable and effective for you guys. Check that out. It'll change your life. Other resources are down there. Online therapy, information for coaching, all that good stuff is down there. I love you guys. Until next time, keep fighting.